Students, today our title is project management. So, what is project management? In software development, we can call only software called the project. So, the explanation is here to the software project management involves to the planning and the organizing and the controlling software development activities to complete a project on time within the project. So, what is project? It is estimate the software development process value. So, what are the main objectives? They have four objectives. First of all, deliver the software on time, maintain quality, and control project cost, and manage team effectively. So these are what for the software project management. So we see to the important four steps in the software project management. First of all, planning and the scheduling and the monitoring and control. So what is planning? If you collect the equipment from the user, the equipment can went to the designing process. So the designing called to the planning. So what is scheduling? So the plan and design can make to the schedule for the next estimate type of the project delivery time. So what is monitoring? The monitoring is the important step. So how kind of data can work for the software development model? So how it will get due to the exact method in the project method. So that is called the monitoring. So, and the controls also, they control the overall software project management tools also. So, they are software project planning diagram. So, we see to the, first of all, we see to the project charter and the scope, next project schedule, next project resource and the project budget and the cost and the project quality and project risk and the project communication. So, it involved to the project planning methods. So, what is project charter and the scope? So, why the software need. So how to implement to the future. That is the main scope and the project start and the scope. So what is project schedule? Schedule for the what is designing process, what is equipment collection, what is coding, what is testing. So we can divide for the multiple works in same module in the software development portal. So next will be project resource. So how can resource use for the this kind of project development process? And the project budget and cost. So how to estimate a cost involved in the project development. So how to go to the exact value that is called the project budget and the cost. Next project quality. So how to analyze the quality means it is the acceptability and the reliability. It can give to the more than risk factor and availability in the project planning methods. Next project risk. So how to analyze the risk models and the risk management system. So under project communication. So how to communicate the client and user between this process. That is called software project methods. So example, we see the developing a college mobile application. So the project manager must manage to the developers and the budget and the deadlines and the project progress. So what who is developers? So they're developing the software ideas in their codes. So example, the college mobile application. So what is the main role of the college mobile application? So we mainly follow to the student and the faculties and the admin. So they are main major role in the college mobile applications. So what is budget? So how can you give to the more budget to give more than quality and more effective for the application development. So deadlines and process it is one part of the development processes. So next we see to the software project estimation. So estimates to predict the time and the cost and the resource required for a project. So it occurs to the estimation and it helps. So it give to the proper planning and the budget allocation and scheduling task. So first of all, you see to the project equipments and the project estimation. And so estimation based on these three kind of methods: time, cost, resource. So the developing a library management system estimate is development time is 3 months. So developers, who is developers? They are called resources. So developer need to the 4 members. So what is cost of the management system? They're 3 lakhs. So it's an example of the project estimation explanation. So next we see the LOC based estimation. So what is LOC? So LOC lines of code. So if we create the software or project, we have to the multiple modules working the software development. So each module have the so many codes. So it is due to the LOC, line of codes. So there are three steps. First, estimate the total LOC, that is the lines of code in the software development. So calculate the effort and required, estimate development time. So project equipment, estimate line code and the effort estimation and the project cost and time. It will help for the LOC based estimation explanation. So we take to the example for the library system. So estimate code is the total loss is the 10,000 lines. So effort calculated by based on the line of coding. So lines of coding due to the efforts. So next function point estimation explanation. So what is function point? It is measures to the software size based on system functionality. It's not a code. Only check on the behavior and output of the functions. So it gives to the inputs, outputs, files, queries, and the interfaces. So the functions are for the input, out files, core interface due to the functions points. So give some example for the ATM system. So the function include for the withdraw money, check balance, deposit cash. So each function contributes the function points. So it gives to the function estimation. So next make by decision. So what is make and buy design? So make is a develop the software internally and buy is purchase the ready-made software. Okay, so if you want develop the new software that called make, so if you need for already the creation software that means buy. So software equipment can two kind of design. One of the design is the make, next is buy. So this called makes and develop the process and purchase the product. So example, college ERP system. So option one, develop the customer custom software that is called user interface needed. Option two is the buy ready-made ERP system. So it's the make by decision in the software development process. So next, COCOMO model explanation. So COCOMO model is the constructive cost model. So it estimates software development efforts and the cost developed by the Barry Bagum and use the estimate for the effort and the development time and the project cost. So the project size is the LOC lines of code and the COCOMO is the constructive cost model. So the effort, time, cost it give to the this model explanation. So software project within the 20,000 lines of code is COCOMO estimate to the effort from 25% per month and the development time is 10 months. So that is the estimation of the software development process. So we take another model in COCOMO. So COCOMO it has a three project categories. So first one is organic, next is semi-detected, third is embedded. So organic is the small software project and embedded is the complex system like a aircraft and controlled software. So next we see to the project scheduling. So what is project scheduling? The project schedule to the arm is the task and the timelines and the resource required for the project completion. It helps allocate the resource and the track progress and the meet deadlines. So the project task can be the project task sequencing and the schedule creation and the project timeline. So start with project schedule to the example is the requirement list we take the 2 weeks and the design we take the 3 weeks and the coding we take 6 weeks and testing also 2 weeks. So that is called the project scheduling. The scheduling due to the individual phase and individual model take to the this kind of method, this kind of time we go to the requirement analysis 2 weeks and the design 3 weeks and the coding 6 weeks and testing 2 weeks. So this is the project scheduling. So next is the scheduling and Gantt chart concept. So what is Gantt chart? It is a visually representation to the project task and their timelines. So first we see to the task week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So recruitment, design, code and testing and contribute the each week can complete the each tasks. That is called the scheduling Gantt chart concept. So example tracking progress on website development. So if you create a website, so create a requirement, put the design and make a coding and give a testing and lastly you can implement the software design. So next we get to the earned value analysis explanation. So what is earned value analysis? So it measures the project performance and progress. So they have three main components: the planned value and the actual cost and earned value. So what is planned value? So it give to the actual cost of the earned value and project performance. So example, we can plan it for project cost to 1 lakh. So the actual cost went to the 80,000 and the work completed for 70%. So manager evaluate to the project performance. That is called earned value analysis. So next is the project planning explanation. So what is project planning? So if you create the software or the development methods, so they have objectives and a task and schedules and resource are requiring for the project completion. So project planning due to the scope of the project and resource and the schedule and the budget. They have give to the project planning estimation. So example is the planning development of the student management system. So this planning due to the scope of the student management system, resource of the student management, and schedule of the student management system. So what kind of budget involved in the student management system? We got the project planning explanation system. So next project plan. So what is project plan? So your project plan give to the formal documentation. It describes how the project will be executed and managed. So it can include to the scope, schedule, budget, team responsibilities. So planning processes. So the planning process defines to the steps involved in the create a project plan. So it define goals and identify tasks and estimate resource and prepare schedule and finalize plan. So the define goals means so what is the requirement, how will it perform in the future development process. So what is identify task, it how to identify the task in the requirement. So how to design the process for the requirement analysis method. Next, estimate resources. So how do you implement the process in the coding method? So how can my modules can divide by this process? So the model can do to the resource models. Next, prepare schedule. So what kind of schedule can we follow this? So model won't take this kind of schedule. So what is the finalist plan? So finalist plan due to the planning process execution. So next RFP. So request for proposal. So what is proposal? Proposal means what is the project ultimate idea, ultimate aim. That is called proposal for developing a project. So RF is the document issued by the organizing and requesting vendors to submit proposal for developing a project. So organizations and issues RFP and vendor proposals and the best vendor selected. So example, a government issues for the RFP for developing smart city software systems. So what the risk management explanation. So what is risk management? So in this method, it identify and control the uncertain events that may affect the project. So they identify, analyze, plan, control. They are controlled for the risk management. Example, the risk is the developer leaves the project. The solution is the assign pickup developer. So the developer leave the project means the developer suddenly remove the project. So it is risk for that module. The solution assign the backup developer. So the backup developer come and they take over the old model coding programs. That is called the risk management explanation. So they give this kind of steps. First of all, the plan and track and control and identify analysis. So these are for the main component the risk management processes. So next we see the risk identification and explanation. So what is risk identification? It's defined to the potential of the problems that may occur in the project. They have the four types. First, technical risk and the schedule risk and the cost risk and the resource risk. So what is technical risk? So technical is the developer point of view. So in the coder or developer or work for the technical event that is called technical risk. And schedule is the project estimation process. So if this kind of schedule can make to the need to meet to the more time. That is called schedule risk. And the cost is the estimated budget they can increase to the software development process. So resource is the technical peoples or technical data that's called the resource. So they are working for the risk identification method. It identify the risks and give to the proper solution. It make to the proper development process. So next risk project projection and explanation. So what is risk projection? So to evaluate through the risk probability and the risk impact and the risk priority. So risk is identified and the probability can analyze the risk values and the impact analysis and the risk priority. So what is the first risk? How to analyze the bug? It bug refers to the testing method. It goes to the risk projection explanation. So next we see to the RMM plan. So what is RMM? Sir, RMM is the first R is the risk mitigation and the risk monitoring and the risk management. It provides to the status to handle the project risk. So risk identified, mitigation plan and monitoring and management. So the example for the risk is the delay in software development. Mitigation is the add extra developers. So they give to the additional plan for risk management process. So next is the case tools. So the case tool standards for the computer aided software engineering. So the case tool help for automated software development activities. It is for the designing support and code generation and testing and documentation. So the designing is most important for the requirement gathering. So the requirement due to the more than analysis process it can for the designing support. So the designing can give to the multiple modules for the each subtitles. So the code can generate for the multiple modules. So the multiple module can go for the testing process. The test care the multi this kind of test for the unit test and integration set and the system test. So the test can give to the proper documentation for the case tools. So the case tools work for the design, coding, testing, documentation. So examples we see to the rational rows and the visual paradigm and the interface architect. So they are example case tools in working for the software development process. So this is our last topic, last one in the software development, software engineering. So thank you.